So I do not get professional bikini waxes or eyebrow waxes or threading. I do not go to the nail shop and get anything done to my hands outside of just a manicure. I don't get any polish, not even clear polish. I definitely don't wear false nails. I do not straighten my hair. I do not wear heels. If I do wear heels, they are thicker heels and they are shorter than normal. I do not wear perfume. It's important to note that I am a person that believes that we all have the opportunity to change their mind. So if you see me doing some of the things that are on this list, it's because I changed my mind and I'm allowed to do so. All right. We're going to address that. That is a video that I posted almost 2 years ago now when I started this channel, and I wanted to go back and revisit some of those things that I said that I didn't do, mostly on an aesthetic basis, because I want to talk a little bit about the discourse that keeps happening on platforms like TikTok around aesthetic and personal style and all of that stuff, and I thought this would be a good avenue to do that. So hey guys, welcome to another video on my channel. My name is Angela. Thank you all so much for stopping by. If you like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and stick around for more videos like these, vlogs, and so much more. So one thing about me, as you get to know me, you'll find that I have a lot of little kitschy sayings. I love a good saying. I'm with you when you're right. I will fight for your right to be wrong. I know what I said because I was there when I said it. And one of my favorite ones is the one that we're going to talk about today, and that's I have a right to change my mind, and so do you. Now that is not a comprehensive list, girl. Every time I look around, I got a new saying. I'm coming up with a new saying, but I really do want to talk about the concept of changing your mind. As you saw in that opening clip, I wrapped that video up by saying, if you see me doing any of these things, even though I said I don't do any of these things, mind your business, because guess what? I always have the right, I reserve the right to change my mind. And we're talking about something as, you know, trivial or as simple as aesthetics, but I mean just in life in general. You have the right to change your mind on things as easy to change as how you look and how you carry yourself outwardly, to completely transforming the way that you think and that you exist in this world, and nobody can take that away from you. But we're gonna keep it pretty surface today. We're gonna talk about the aesthetics of it all, because like I said, I wanted to sort of address really quickly, not too much, the discourse that happens, I say every 3 months or so on Instagram. Once one of these aesthetics that have gained popularity, once it loses steam and another aesthetic pops up, then there's all this discourse around this new aesthetic. It's funny to me that I find myself here talking about this again, because one of my first ever viral videos on TikTok was me talking about, like, I had started getting a plethora of videos mainly from young girls, like in their early 20s, some of them even teenagers, talking about their favorite YouTubers and influencers who had seemingly adopted this black girl in luxury aesthetic, which was the first big aesthetic that caused all of this discourse, right? And they were talking about how they weren't approachable anymore, or they didn't have anything in common with them anymore, and they had to stop watching their content because it just wasn't relatable. And so I made a video where I was saying I had been seeing a lot of those videos come down my timeline, and I didn't realize that that was such a big issue surrounding YouTubers and influencers. And I went on to say how while I do understand where the young ladies are coming from, because there is a lot of the same. There's a lot of the same. You cannot deny that, because TikTok in specifically, but social media as a whole right now is driven by aesthetics, right? And so everybody is trying to chase that viral moment. Everybody is trying to chase that popularity. So whatever seems to be the popular thing to do, eat, wear, say, be, then that seems to be what people are chasing. So while I did agree with them in that sense, like, I mean, the girls are all looking the same, I wanted to deliver a message to those young women by way of letting them know that there's going to come a time in your life when you're older, or you have more access, you have more money, your interests change, whatever, that you too are going to change your mind and change the way that you exist, and maybe even the way that you dress and the way that you carry yourself. And you have to give people grace and the space to grow and change into who they really are, who they really want to be, whatever the case may be. Right now I'm sitting here in what would be considered the clean girl aesthetic, right? My hair is slicked back in a pony. I have a minimal makeup. My jewelry is minimal. My nails are neutral. You know, I have on just like a minimal like collared shirt. but this is very much who I am and who I've always been. And unfortunately, sometimes people's personal styles and personal aesthetics and just how they genuinely exist or present themselves, sometimes it becomes a trend, right? So somebody might see me and say, oh, she is, you know, on that clean girl aesthetic trend, or they may see my content and think that that's, you know, where I lean, when this is really who I am. So not everybody is chasing a aesthetic. Sometimes people's true way of existing just becomes the it thing. And then sometimes you do have people that are influenced by what they see online, which I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing when people are influenced to try Pilates. It's activity, it's being active, it's movement. People need that. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing that people are taking more walks now, even though I do get annoyed by the fact that it's called a hot girl walk. Just take a walk. Like, you don't have to put an aesthetic on everything, so that does annoy me. But I don't necessarily think anything is wrong with people adopting walking, adopting Pilates, becoming more organized, journaling, doing the digital journals, all that stuff. Yes, it's trendy. Yes, it may be considered a part of an aesthetic, but all of those are inherently good things. You know, I come from a very nuanced, objective, subjective, whatever term that you want to use, place. And so being a person that comes from that place, I always am going to start off with, you have to just let people be who they are. And if people want to play around with every aesthetic that come out, if they want to be a black girl in luxury and then move to that girl and then move to soft life and then move to it girl or whatever girl is popular now, then that's cool. You have to allow people space to do what it is that they want. You cannot control. That's not a controllable. That's not something that you can control. You can observe it, and if for you that doesn't read authentic, then you shouldn't consume their content. But also, I do get people's argument about the sameness and how it's a lot. It is a lot. I do a lot of skipping through, especially TikTok, because I'm like, okay, I literally just saw this video from a different person, but the exact same video, right? So I get that as well. But like I said before, and I'm going to say today, when it comes to consuming social media, consuming content that people are putting out, that is what is called a controllable. You literally have the ability to control any and everything that you consume online. If you do not like what someone is putting out, you can simply not consume that content, right? The good thing about social media is that you can curate it to feed you in whatever way you need to. Feed your creativity, feed your learning, you know, feed your desires, whatever it is that you want to gain from social media. You have the ability to curate that. So do that. I think that the discourse, I think that the conversation around aesthetics, specifically ones like Black Girl in Luxury, where it does it can stand to be critiqued, right? Things like the clean girl aesthetic that has been a style of Black and Latino women for a long time, wearing our hair slicked back in a ponytail with, you know, big hoops or whatever, minimal makeup, maybe some lashes and things like that, and, you know, being critiqued, especially when it comes to like the big hoops and things like that, it being critiqued as, you know, ghetto or whatever the case may be. And now all of a sudden that it's picked up by, you know, white women, right? It's an aesthetic that everybody should aspire to. So I get having those kinds of conversations, but just having conversations where it's like, oh, everybody's doing the same thing. You don't really like matcha. I don't like matcha. I think matcha is disgusting. I think it is disgusting, right? But, you know, you don't really like matcha. You don't really do this. You don't really do that. Like, who cares what people really do, right? Find a way to curate your feed into something that you actually enjoy, and don't worry about all the rest of that stuff. So I thought it'd be fun to go through some of the changes that I've made personally as it relates to aesthetics, right? Because we're talking about, you know, the whole discourse around aesthetics. But the changes that I've made from 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, when I posted that video on YouTube, the clips that you saw in the beginning of the video, to now. And those are things that I was pretty married to at that time. The good thing about me, I think, is that the core of my personal style, the core of how I like to present, it's never going to change. So even when I was wearing my hair natural, it was 100% natural, and I wasn't straightening it, I would still mostly wear it slicked back in a bun. It just would take a lot of work So we may as well start there. In the clips, I said that I don't straighten my hair. At that time, I hadn't straightened my hair in, you know, 6 years or so. I had been natural for 6 years. I had been natural before that for 6 years, got a relaxer, got my hair cut short, and then grew it out, and then was natural for 6 years again. And that time around, I hadn't straightened my hair in that entire 6 years. And I was saying, I don't straighten my hair. Only thing that I do other than wearing it natural is I'll wear it in protective styles like braids and things like that. I currently have a relaxer. I relaxed my hair almost 4 months ago now. I've had 2 relaxers, so I got 1 relaxer, and then at the 90-day mark I got another relaxer. So I am currently sitting here 2 years later relaxed. And I was very adamant then that I would never straighten my hair because I have scalp psoriasis, and so it causes me to have really thin hair, because sometimes I get outbreaks in my scalp and my hair thins out, and it just was easier to wear it natural because it appeared thicker, right? And that was my reasoning, and that's still very much fact. However, one thing about me, I hate washing my hair. I'm very lazy, and I also don't like going to salons because I don't like sitting in there. So what was happening with me is that having my natural hair was good for it appearing thick, but my scalp was in shambles because you know what I was not doing? Washing my hair, because it was just too much effort. It was too much effort to detangle it. It was too much effort to wash it because it's thin in the crown, but around the perimeter it is really, really, really thick. So had I not lost my hair to psoriasis as a young child in a crown, and it, you know, not being thin in the middle from that, my hair would be a ridiculously thick mane of 4C hair. So even with my hair being thin in the middle, it just took a lot of time to wash and detangle, and I didn't want to do it. So I would literally go weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks with just brushing my hair back with a bunch of gel in a ponytail, and my scalp was paying for it. So part of the reason that I decided to relax my hair is just for ease. Ever since I relaxed my hair, I have taken care of it 20 times better than I did when it was natural. It gets washed every week because it's easier, deep conditioned. You know, I take care of my scalp better. I haven't had a psoriasis, I haven't had a sore in my head since I relaxed it, right? And so that was just the best choice for me. 2 years ago, you could have told me that 2 years later I'd be sitting here with relaxed hair. And I also wear clip-in extensions a lot now as well. So like, we just eat apples and oranges at this point. Something else I mentioned in that video was my nails, and as you can see, because I talk with my hands and I've been doing this the whole time, I mentioned in the video that I only go to the nail salon to get manicures. At the time I did, and I have been doing that for years and years and years. I wouldn't even get gel or like dip on my nails because my natural nails are really long and they're really strong. That's one of my character traits. I like to mention that I have really long, thick natural nails because as a little girl I had a really bad habit of like biting my nails, and I had nubs. And when I finally kicked that habit, the way that my nails just started sprouting out my fingers, I'm like, girl, you could have been walking around like this all your life, right? So I'm very proud that I have really great natural nails. So what I found is things like gel and dip would ruin my natural nails. Like, as long as I was continuing to get the gel on every couple weeks or get the dip on every couple weeks, my nails seemed to be flourishing. But if you ever decide to stop getting that shit on your hands and just wear your natural nails, give it about 30 days and you'll notice that your nails start shredding. I don't know anybody who has actually given their nails a break and stopped getting gel polish and giving their hands a break that hasn't had issues with the nails that they'd grown chipping up and breaking. So I just decided, you know, that's not for me. So I would go to the nail shop, I would get a manicure. I wouldn't even get clear polish on my nails, just clean up my cuticles, shape my nails really fine, and that was that. And I was very adamant about that, and I did that for years. These are acrylics. 2 years later, I have on a pair of acrylic, almond shaped, fairly long to me, even though people are like, those nails aren't long, but these are long to me, nails on my hand. And I just woke up one day and was like, you know, I want to try almond shape. I want to try a longer nail, almond shape, and I'm going to get acrylics to achieve that. And so I went 3 weeks ago now, got a set of acrylics. I went and got a feel on them the other day, and I feel like I'm going to be doing this for a while because I like it. And there's no big reason, like with my hair, other than I just wanted to, right? And so sometimes you make changes because you need to and you have to. Sometimes you make changes just because you want to. Something else that I mentioned in that video that I do not do is get any type of like professional hair removal. No brow waxing or threading, no bikini waxing. I did all of that stuff myself. Girl, I just got a bikini wax last week. As well as got my brows threaded. So yeah, we're doing that too. The thing is, I have skin lupus, and I mentioned in the video that I have skin lupus. So my skin is very sensitive to just products in general, very sensitive to like a lot of pressure and things like that. Then I was in a place where I was still afraid to even try to get a bikini wax because I didn't know how my skin was going to react to it. Recently, as you can see, I've adopted this YOLO mindset where I'm just like, girl, just try it. Like, you live by yourself, you single. If something happens, if you have some sort of adverse reaction to it, who's gonna see it? Nobody's gonna see it but you. So like, the time is now to be trying all of these things to see if you're able to incorporate them back into your routine before you do meet somebody, and you know, they also have to be privy to whatever disgusting thing happens if you have an adverse skin reaction to, you know, trying new products. And so I went ahead and tried the bikini wax. It was fine. I've been back for like 4 at this point. Also my brows, I've been getting them threaded as well. I don't get a complete cleanup because I'm in the middle of using some medication to try to thicken them up, as well as my eyelashes, which we'll talk about at another time because it is sponsored. But yeah, so it's fine. The threading is fine, the waxing is fine. And so I'm really happy because, girl, it's so much easier than me using the hair remover lotion to get rid of the hair myself, which sometimes I'll do if I need a quick cleanup between waxes. But like, other than that, I'm glad to go pay my money to have somebody else to do it for me. And speaking of skin, something else that I mentioned in that video is that I do not wear perfume, which was another thing that I had to give up when I was trying to get diagnosed for my skin. And after it was diagnosed to be skin lupus, it was advised that I don't use any like harsh chemicals and things on my skin, so I had to give up fragrance. And I'm not a huge fragrance girl anyway. I am very much like a signature person. So I have a signature lip, which is red. I have a signature style, which is this slick back bun hairstyle. I have a signature scent, which is Nest Indigo. But I had to give that up, and I wasn't wearing it. I hadn't wore perfume in years. I was wearing like scented oils like vanilla and things like that to try to compensate for the fact that I wasn't wearing fragrance. But I hadn't worn fragrance in years. And even when I was filming that video, I had been testing like my skin on my wrist with like different fragrances to see how it would adapt to the chemicals. And since then I found that it's fine. Now I have been irritated by some perfumes, so I have to be careful. I have to do a test, but I've been able to incorporate Nest back into my routine. I have a couple other fragrances that I am wearing that I really like. One is by Urban Outfitters of all places. I just randomly picked up a couple bottles for my friend for her birthday, and one of them just smelled really good. I'll put the name of it on the screen. One of them just smelled pretty good and really good, and I've been buying it ever since because it smells so good. So that's like my everyday scent. I wear it to like the gym and stuff like that, like casual day scent. My Nest is my go-to, girl. We leave in the house, we got on Nest. And then I also have this other fragrance by Lush. I am obsessed with it. I'm terrible with names and cannot remember the name of the damn perfume that I'm saying I'm obsessed with, but I'll put it on the screen as well. So I have a few different fragrances that I actually wear on a daily basis. Ebony Woods, the really popular Ebony Woods scent from Zara that everybody was wearing, I use that too. So like, my skin is like, girl, you good. You just need to let me know. You need to test me out first before you just start buying fragrances. But for the most part, it's been pretty good, which makes me extremely happy. So that's it. I just wanted to make this video to encourage young women that it is okay to play around with aesthetics. I like to call it to play around with your personal style. That includes your interests, your hobbies, the things you like to do, eat, see. I think it's okay to play around with how you want to present yourself in the world, how you want to exist. I would even go on to say that it's necessary, and that's sort of how you develop things like your personal style. People ask me all the time, how did you develop your personal style? How did you develop your personal style? How did you develop your personal style? And it was really just trial and error. I think the core of my personal style has always been there. I always revert back to what I'm most comfortable in, which is what you are looking at now. right? If all else fails, I'm gonna throw on a collar shirt or a t-shirt and a good pair of jeans and a sneaker or a boot or something like that. Slick my hair back, throw on some studs, and I'm very much Angela. So the core of who I am has always been there, but over the course of my life, because y'all know I'm seasoned, I'm 38, I'm 6 months into 38, so we rounded the corner on 39, right? I've played around with a lot of different styles and aesthetics and, you know, hairstyles and looks and things like that. Even now, with my personal style being solidified, I don't really see it changing much more than what it already is. There are still areas in my personal style that I allow myself to play around with trends and things like that. So I don't personally see anything wrong with people adopting, you know, different trends or aesthetics and things that they don't like. Just make sure that you are being true to you. Like, you're not spending money that you don't have. You're not drinking matcha. I'm gonna keep saying it because that shit is nasty. I get it, some people like it, but it's so nasty. But make sure you're not just drinking that shit because everybody is drinking it and you think it's cool. Make sure you're not doing anything just for the look of it, and it really is adding value to who you are and or who you want to be, you know, eventually, right? So yeah, that is my video. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you liked it, let me know in the comments. I can definitely do more social commentary style videos, which is what I'm looking to bring more of to this YouTube channel. So let me know if you like this topic. Let me know some other things in the comments that you would like to hear my commentary on, and I will try to get those filmed. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed. Also, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I put the handles in the subscription box, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye.